Emilio, the honey badger, Urrutia!
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Honey Badger Hour. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Honey Badger Hour podcast. It's your boy, the Badger, and we are back. Good to be here, y'all. Good to be back in studio. Happy holidays. We're coming at you today with our Christmas special, all right? It is Christmas Eve right now in the 305, Miami-Dade County. All right, guys, getting ready for a special Noche Buena, ready to throw down. I hope you guys are all having a blessed week with your family and loved ones. But don't forget, don't slack on the training. To all my students, don't get too wasted, guys. Let's stay healthy. Let's stay strong so we can get back onto the gym. We got MMA Friday. We got MMA sparring on Friday, 12 p.m. So come right, come correct. Let's keep the momentum going. I'm looking very positively into 2025, guys. Trying to go all gas, no brakes. Everybody right now is slowing down, relaxing, kicking back. I'm just trying to keep the momentum going. All right. It's been a great year so far, so super excited. What a year, guys. What a year 2024 has become, huh? We got the big dog, Trump daddy, back in office next year. Let's go. All right. We had Jon Jones remade the champion. A lot of titles have changed hands this year. It's been a little bit of a crazy year, right? Volkanovski down. Alex Pereira remained champ. Jon Jones remained champ, right? I forgot when Duplessis fought. Duplessis became champion this year. So, been a wild year, guys. Been a wild year, but it's that time when the rewards come in, all the awards come in, right? So, we had Fighter of the Year. The award goes to Alex Pereira. Poatan takes it. 3 title defenses, 3 knockouts. My dog, Poatan, does not know what a referee's scorecard, what a judge's scorecard looks like, okay? My dog, Poatan, doesn't know what a judge's scorecard looks like, guys. 3 finishes, all with different punches. I think he got a left hook. He's got a high kick. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. So, Poatan keeping his run, remaining the 205-pound king, and has yet to fight a wrestler. So, Fighter of the Year, but let's see how long that one lasts, guys, right? Live by the sword, die by the sword. He's got some tough matchups coming up next year, but I'm excited to see. We got 2025, guys. Jon Jones. All right, Jon Jones, Tom Aspinall. Looks like it's going to be the one, right? Who do you think, guys, wins that one? Jon Jones taking on Tom Aspinall. Will it happen? We don't really know, right? It's a fight it's basically the next fight in the heavyweight division. People were saying, I know Jon Jones was saying he didn't really want to fight Tom Aspinall because he feels like Tom Aspinall didn't deserve to fight him. But here's the catch about the Jon Jones story, that a lot of the guys, maybe a lot of people younger, they haven't seen when Jon Jones made his UFC debut. Listen, guys, I remember when Jon Jones made his UFC debut. Okay, I'll never forget. I was working at Outback Steakhouse. I was a server. I was already training for a little bit. And I forgot where I was working. But I remember looking up on TV, and this guy was throwing Stephan Bonnar over his head. Like Stephan Bonnar was a doll. Okay, he was ragdolling Stephan Bonnar. Fwah, fwah, fwah. And I was like, oh, that guy's never going to lose. I swear to God, that's what I said. The first time I saw Jon Jones fight, guys, I was like, oh, that guy's never going to lose. The second time I ever said that in a fight, and you guys are going to think I'm crazy for saying this because obviously hindsight's 2020, but yo, the other time I saw that is when Khabib fought. When I saw Khabib throw Abel Trujillo in the air 52 times, I was like, oh, that guy's never losing either. So, not to toot my own horn, but I know a good thing when I see it, guys. I've been in this game for a long time. I got a good eye for it, I would think. When you know, you know. There's that famous saying, right? If you know, you know. Now, we got a little bit off topic, but here's the thing, guys. Jon Jones did not earn his title shot. He got lucky, bro. Shogun gifted Jon Jones a title shot. I think Jon Jones is the youngest champion, or was the I think Jon Jones was 23 or 22 when he won the title, right? The youngest UFC champion of all time. Not the youngest UFC fighter, but the youngest UFC champion. Okay. When Jon Jones fought Shogun Rua was the light heavyweight champion, okay? And he was the former Pride FC light heavyweight champion. So Shogun was the guy, okay? Just finished knocking out Lyoto Machida devastatingly. KO Lyoto Machida dead, okay? And before that, when he fought Lyoto Machida, had a really close fight where everybody thought he won anyways. So Shogun fights Machida. Everybody thinks he gets robbed. Machida wins his title, but barely. They run it back, and then he knocks out Machida cold, okay? Deaded him. I'll never forget that fight. I'll never forget. I was watching it. We were at my coach's house, all of us together, because my coach's family was like Taekwondo guys, and they all like loved Lyoto Machida. So it was like half of the squad there was going for Lyoto, half of the squad was going for Shogun. Crazy, epic night. But anyways, then in his next title defense, Shogun is attempting to fight. Shogun is scheduled to fight Rashad Evans, and who knows what could have happened in that fight. That could have been Rashad Evans' chance back to the title, but Rashad Evans hurts his knee wrestling at Greg Jackson with a takedown. Somebody rolls into him, and that guy's career takes a crazy turn. Rashad Evans is out, and Jon Jones replaces Rashad Evans to fight for the title on short notice against Shogun Rua. And I want to say Jon Jones just finished beating somebody, and he gets the call on short notice. Guys, Shogun did not need to give Jon Jones a title fight, okay? The Rashad Evans fight matchup was a hell of a lot better than the Jon Jones matchup, okay? But he said, you know what? I'm a warrior. I'm a fighter. And back then, bro, the UFC was a little bit different, it seemed like, right? Like with the fightings and stuff like this. It's a little bit of a different era, right? But I think the mentality was a little bit different. And he was like, yo, anybody, anytime. And he took the fight against Jon Jones and awarded Jon Jones the opportunity to give a young up-and-comer a chance for glory, okay? Now, you fast forward 15 years later, Jon Jones is the heavyweight champion of the world, okay? After dodging, if he really wanted to fight heavyweight, you would have went up against Ngannou. You know what I'm saying? So Jon Jones sees a gap in the heavyweight division, right? Because Stipe Miocic is still the champ somehow. Or I don't know what happened, right? Stipe Miocic was the champ, and there was a vacant title. Serial gone. I don't even know what happened with that day. Oh, Francis Ngannou leaves. And now, since Francis Ngannou goes to PFL, Jon Jones waits for Francis Ngannou to be out of his shooting range. And he's like, all right. And then he steps back into the picture. But Jon Jones wasn't thinking, this is where he kind of maybe bit off more than he could chew. Because he steps up into the heavyweight picture to fight a Serial Gone, to fight another guy, or Stipe Miocic for a legacy fight. But he forgets that there's a young, hungry animal out there named Tom Aspinall finishing everybody. And that if you smell that title, there's always going to be a chance, right? Where you're going to have to give somebody a chance. And this is exactly what happened. What happened with how Jon Jones got his shot is literally how Tom Aspinall can get his shot right now. Because Tom Aspinall wasn't in the title contention picture. He was supposed to fight Stipe. Stipe gets hurt. And then Jon Jones, instead of fighting the next guy up, he ends up just waiting for Stipe. So he's been getting a lot of trash for that. But I think he's not scared to fight Tom Aspinall. He just wants fuck you money. If you give Jon Jones fuck you money and you take care of him for life, I think he'll fight anybody, right? I think that's pretty much, that goes to say for every fighter on the roster, every human being on earth, right? I mean, how much, if I gave you $1 million, would you fight Mike Tyson tomorrow? Just put your chin down and it'll be over quick, dog. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it'll be a minute worth of work and you get $1 million, right? I mean, you might be a little bit slower when you speak. You might sound like me in the next podcast, but hey, you're a fucking millionaire, papa. You can hopefully, and by the next 20 years, hopefully you have enough money where you can just buy some neuroscience to fix your brain after Mike Tyson kills you. But hey, for the right price, pretty much people will do a lot, right? People will go far for a little bit of cash, right? Do something. Hey, what do they say? What's that famous saying? Yeah, something strange for the change, So people will do some strange things for some change, for sure. So Jon Jones is like, yo, you pay me and I'll fight the young up-and-comer. However, I bet you Shogun didn't ask for more money. So he's in the same position Shogun was in 15 years ago. Does he want to give the up-and-comer a title shot? He says that he doesn't gain nothing from beating Tom Aspinall, and that eventually Tom Aspinall is going to fight and he's going to lose. But, I mean, you can say that with everybody, right? Fighting is a lot about timing. I mean, one of the saddest fights of all time, one of the saddest mixed matches we've had of all time, like one of the worst mishaps we had in MMA, or I'm sorry, in combat sports, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather. I mean, that fight was like 6, 7, maybe 10 years too late from when everybody wanted to see it. And they still made the most money. So maybe Jon Jones is taking a page out of Mayweather's book, and it's about money. I think at the end of the day, guys, it's about money. If Dana White pays him the big bucks, he'll fight Jesus if you make him. Maybe not Jesus because he's a Christian, but he'll fight anybody. He'll fight King Kong if you pay him enough, right? So, anyways, Jon Jones getting a lot of slack. What am I going to say? I don't know. I feel him. At the end of the day, I bet you he just wants money, right? Everybody here loves to chatter and, like you hear these analysts and these guys, and they talk about these fighters like if they're never going to see these guys. So maybe they're never going to leave their basement, so they talk freely on the internet about fighters. I know a lot of people give Jon Jones slack, calling him scared and this and that. I'm like, guys, hold on, bro. You're out here in your basement talking about Jon Jones is scared or he doesn't want to fight the big fights. Maybe Jon Jones just wants to get paid. Okay, guys? People always get this mishap. It's like, yo, you want to fight the baddest dude on the planet? Okay, but you got to give me baddest dude on the planet money. All right? The name of the game in fighting is the easiest opponent for the most money. And I don't know if MMA has figured that out yet. And I think some guys in MMA are starting to figure that out. But in boxing, is a 100-year-old sport. Okay, boxing's been around for more than 100 years, and everybody in boxing knows the path of least resistance. Okay, because you're putting your life on the line, you're risking getting smashed. Why are you gonna fight some guy that could potentially change your life forever for no money? Let's do that one more time. Why would you fight somebody who could potentially change you forever for no money? Right? So before you say, oh, Jon Jones is scared or somebody doesn't want to fight that guy. Oh, he doesn't want to fight that guy because he's a knockout artist. Would you? Right? It's like, oh, he doesn't want to fight this guy because of this or he doesn't want to fight that guy because of that. Have you ever seen Khabib, what it looks like when he mauls you for 3 rounds? Have you seen what people look like after they fight Tony Ferguson? You know what I'm saying? Have you seen the opponents after Islam is done with them? Guys, you want to get paid for putting your life on the line. So it's a tough call, right? It's a tough one. Anyways, all right, that's good. We always get a little rant in on our little pod session. So Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. I highly doubt Jon Jones is afraid of anybody. I highly doubt anybody in the UFC roster is afraid of any other fighter on the UFC roster. I think it's literally just about money. If you pay these guys the money that they deserve and are like if you guys pay the money they're worth, they'll fight anybody. They'll fight any weight class. If you make the money right, I bet you guys will fight open weight class. Is it going to be a guaranteed winner? Probably. But if the money's right, they're going to do it. So put your money where your mouth is. Craig Jones, the Craig Jones Invitational is doing a great job, like setting a standard for the fighters, setting a line. Because they were talking about how ADCC is selling out the T-Mobile Arena, but they're paying the fighters the same, right? So Craig Jones said, listen, there's a way to get these fighters paid and also get the fans involved. And you saw with CJI, when these guys are competing for $1 million, they're out there throwing flying triangles, giving it all a line. Okay, you seen guys, the Rotello brothers, they were in bad positions, good positions. He had his back taken for a second. He got taken down. He got scrambled up. But these guys are going after it because they're not fighting for a $10,000 prize and a gold medal so that you can do seminars for the rest of the year, because that's all you're really fighting for. You're literally fighting. When you win Abu Dhabi, you're fighting so that you can make money doing more work. So it's like you win in Abu Dhabi right now in grappling, right? To win the most prestigious, the Olympics of Jiu-Jitsu, the ADCC, the Abu Dhabi Combat, or whatever it's called. ADCC, what's damn, oh my God, I should know this. But you got the ADCC, right? Then they got this division. They got the Jiu-Jitsu tournament. First place gets like 10 grand or something like this, right? And then you get the gold medal, which means you're the number 1 guy in the world and you just won $10,000. Okay, and then they're selling out arenas. It gets crazy, guys. It gets crazy, right? I mean, all they're really paying for is hotels and tickets, which is nothing more than an amateur entry-level MMA show will do, okay? So most MMA shows will give you a ticket and a hotel to go fight for their promotion. So, and then when Abu Dhabi, they're doing that. Oh, Abu Dhabi, I think it's Combat Club. Anyways, in Abu Dhabi, they're paying the best guy $10,000 and he's number one in the world, and basically all that does is help him make more money doing more work. Like, you win Abu Dhabi, you're the greatest grappler in the world, and you can't just spend the next year training and getting ready for your next fight. You got to spend the next year traveling around doing seminars where ask any black belt how they feel about seminars. You know, I feel like guys do it and they have to because it's great money and I'm sure they love to teach, but it's tiring, man. You're going to be traveling to every city. If you're going to be going to a new city every week, showing the same moves, rolling with all these guys, everybody's trying to kill you. It's got to be a lot of work. So Craig Jones is setting a standard right now for Jiu-Jitsu, and maybe we need to see something like that in MMA because right now, the MMA, the promotions, I mean, how much money is UFC making off the video games? They're on ESPN, okay? And I know that the streaming for sure has messed up with the pay-per-views. So I think the fighters like the Chuck Liddells back in the day, Chuck Liddell, like Anderson Silva, I think these guys were making like, when they were getting pay-per-view money, they were getting like real deal pay-per-view points because there was no streaming back then, right? So everybody had to get the pay-per-view. And they only had fights like once a month, maybe like every 3 months, every other month. But it was very sporadically. They didn't have every month like clockwork, a main event. And they weren't competing with the streaming. So the game has changed for the good and for the bad. But yeah, something that a tale as old as time that we're always going to be talking about. Fighters need to be making way more money because you got guys fighting to way too late in their career, okay? Going to bare knuckle, I mean, that's a rough go, you know? Like, you finish your MMA career and you don't got no options, then you got to go fight bare knuckle. And I don't know if you ever seen the way those guys look after a rough bare knuckle fight, but I'm just glad that I got this podcast and I can do comedy and I found some different routes and able to coach because, man, you guys want to be an MMA fighter, like, you got to make sure that you have other bags and you have other passions and things that you can do when it's after, because it's something you can do. It's fast. It's amazing. It's the best thing in the world, but it's fast and it's a young man's game. And you got to always have, and they say it's a tough call, right? Because like you listen to like all these successful people and like all these like millionaire mindset guys and like you read all these motivational quotes and books and like Napoleon, burn your boats. They used to say like when Napoleon used to go conquer a town, he used to burn the boats. So the guys had no choice but to fight, to live, to conquer. But so it's a weird little fine line game you have to play, right? Because you want to be an MMA fighter and you want to be the best in the world. You got to completely lock in and hone in and focus only on winning and fighting and training. If you want to be the best in the world in MMA and you want to be the best fighter, you want to be a Khabib level, you want to be an Izzy, you want to be a Volkanovski, okay? You want to be an Alexander Volkanovski, featherweight GOAT, and you want to have that type of credentials, you need to have a work ethic that is unmatched by any human you've ever met. Like, you got to be the hardest working guy you've ever known, and everybody who knows you has got to know you as the hardest working guy they know. If you even want to sniff the top 10 to get to this level, that's how hard it is to get to this level in the sport, you know? So just think about it. Like, you want to be the best in the world, and if you meet somebody and they're working harder than you, just imagine how many more of those guys there are spread around the globe, right? But you got to have that type of focus and mindset to be the best in the world and just lock in and be 100% dedicated. But then at the same time, you also want to have some different routes and some exit plans, because one crazy thing can happen in this sport, you know, like you zig where you could have zagged. You got to replace your knee, you know, you hurt your knee, elbow, shoulder gets jacked, you get a bad concussion, now you can't take a punch anymore. You know, things change like this. So it's a crazy sport, man. It's a crazy sport, and that's why we love it. At the end of the day, the highest highs, the lowest lows, that's what brought me into this sport. You know, like when I saw this, I never liked sports. I never liked like athletes playing football and basketball. I never really cared for it, you know. But let me tell you something, guys. When I saw MMA, two guys fighting, and I've always loved boxing. Since I was a kid, I've always loved boxing. And I just didn't know. I didn't know. But was so lucky, or we got lucky about MMA, is that Jiu-Jitsu, put Jiu-Jitsu on the map. And then, like I said, learning martial arts has been changed my life, because it's first time I find something I love. And to me, as a spectator sport, there's nothing better than watching two guys put it on the line. There's a famous quote that Dana White says, or somebody says, that if you're watching a football game and you're watching a hockey game on the TV and a fight breaks out, everybody's going to stop what they're doing and watch the fight. So at the end of the day, hand-to-hand, unarmed combat is the most primal, real thing that people love to see. So it's hard to compete with. So with all the highest highs and lowest lows, with the concussions, with the money, with the lack of money, the concussions, the injuries training, the frustration dealing with MMA promotions, the dodgy people that get involved at the high level. At the end of the day, you learn a skill set that will change your life and your mentality forever. And it's literally taking the red pill of the Matrix, like knowing that there's another way out there. So, unbelievable, guys. Super blessed regardless. But it is always good to have a backup plan. So for up-and-coming fighters, you know, you can focus on your fighting training, but at the end of the day, your training is 2-4. You know, you're talking about 4 to 6 hours a day training, and then and you're awake. How many hours a day you're awake? You're awake 16 hours. If you're training for 6 of them, you got another 10 hours that you can produce a podcast, make some content, take videos. YouTube is blowing up right now. That's what I'm trying to do. So there's a lot of different routes, right? And if there's anything I would have done differently back then is I would have saved all my money and more promoted my brand and made more money on the outside of the ring, because I was so locked in on fighting and training and just getting my skill set good for the next fight that I put other shit in the back burner. So anyways, guys, life is good. It's been a great year, man. We tried a little bit new angle on the Honey Badger Hour, right? We've been doing a lot of prediction videos and breakdowns. This is something that we started a little bit last year. I think we were doing it a little bit in 2023, but this is where we really found our home, it feels like, with the podcasts. All right, guys, I want to start making some money on this thing so we can, guys, if I ever make some type of money talking on this podcast, then we can make producers and we can get people to edit and we can get content out every day. So the goal this year, 2025, is to make money and podcast every day. So I'm going to start live streaming, guys. All right. We're going to get into the new year live streaming. All right. And I don't want to have to be out here in the middle of us talking and sell you some bullshit, guys. I hate when I watch some shit and then you're like, yo, is this guy just trying to sell me a hat? This whole fucking podcast? You know, I don't want to be that guy. You feel me, y'all? So we got to figure out a way. Comment below if you know how these goddamn people make money, because I'm trying to fucking give this love out here to the people every day. All right. We're going to get on schedule. We're going to do a live stream. You guys send me some super chats or we'll do something like that. All right. So I'm just putting that out there to put it into the energy. Put these words into the universe. All right. Because the goal is to be the most poppin' analyst breakdown guy in the game. Okay. I'm looking at a lot of guys right now that are really killing it right now. Demetrius Johnson's got to be my favorite podcast channel. All right. He just did his training session with Khabib. One of the best videos I've ever seen. So one of my favorite content, that Demetrius Johnson Khabib video is one of my most favorite, how do I say this word? It's my favorite piece of content on YouTube right now. I'm telling you guys, I've watched it twice already. Khabib is his mentality, his heart, his aura, everything about that guy I'm just obsessed with, okay? I want to emulate all my coaching style, all my fighting style. I'm getting into competitive jiu-jitsu now this year, guys, so I'm going to start tearing up on the competition scene, and I'm just thinking the Khabib mindset, you know? Train every day and smash everybody from the top, ill takedowns, chain wrestling, and I've been obsessed. So I've been studying a lot of Khabib stuff, okay, looking into his work, looking into his family, looking into his team, the way they train. And then Demetrius Johnson's probably my second favorite guy that I've learned so much from, because he got to train with the legendary Matt Hume. So we're leveling up, guys. 2025, we're going to get the illest, dopest podcast in the game. I want to be the illest coach in the game. I want to breed young, up-and-coming, rising, dominating fighters, okay? We got Trump back in office. It's time to get back to number one, guys. We've been letting the thrones, we let go of the throne for a little bit, but it's time to take it back. We need strong, badass, disciplined, hardworking Americans to make this country great, all right, to keep it great so we can sustain on top. But it ain't easy, guys. Once you're on top for a little bit, like George St. Pierre always says, it's hard to wake up for a training camp when you got linen sheets and good food in the fridge and a hot girl sleeping next to you. So we need to get hard again, guys. We need to get on our David Goggins tip. Let's go into 2025. Let's get hard, all right? Let's eat clean. I haven't had soda in a couple days. Your boy's trying to stay off the alcohol and drugs. It's hard as fuck, but it's amazing how good you feel when you just don't do drugs and alcohol. It's amazing how good you feel. So Anyways, guys, what else is going on, man? We got 2025. I'm mad hype for the year. Alex Pereira, fight of the year. Hey, listen, guys. I know there's been a lot of talk. Alex Pereira, Ilia Topuria, blah, blah, blah. Arman Tsukian, a lot of names. Hey, don't ever get it twisted, guys. I'm still rocking with Volk, all right? Don't ever forget about Alexander the Great. I've been doing videos about Khabib and all these guys and Dagestan fighters. But if there's a person who's going to compete with Khabib and the greatest of all time, for me, it's going to be Alexander Volkanovski, right? Who is a better representation of the sport than Alex Volkanovski? And what does Alex Volkanovski have over Khabib that makes Alex Volkanovski more of a GOAT? If you guys can pick a GOAT. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say Jon Jones and Jose Aldo and a few other guys. Okay, that's fine, but those guys are era GOATs. If you're going to call those guys, the only one that is GSP. Okay, GSP, Volk, and Khabib, right? People say Khabib didn't fight enough tough competition, and he has a padded record. Listen, Khabib fought everybody that they put in front of him, and he dominated. Just to dominate. The guy never walked out with a scratch on his face. Okay? GSP, same game, dominated, but was only fought twice a year. Different era, different mindset of champion. Never went up to fight the super fights. He never went up to middleweight to fight Anderson Silva. The fight everybody wanted, see, you guys forget, the fight everybody wanted to see was Anderson Silva versus GSP. But he never did it. He never had the gall to step up. For everything that he's great, right? Go down. All right? So GSP is great, dominate everybody. But when you look at Volk, guys, that separates him from Khabib and GSP and even Jon Jones, because I'm going to hit you hard right now, right? You want to say, oh, no, how can you say not Jon Jones is not in the competition? Listen, Jon Jones is in the competition, guys. And I don't even want to say this because one of my greatest interviews I'd ever want is a Jon Jones interview. But, yo, my dog has failed a couple drug tests, all right? I'm sorry. I don't even want to say it. And maybe it was the era where everybody was failing drug tests, but he has, you know? Where Khabib, GSP, at least for now, even though GSP looks a little bit, you know, his body looks very strong, but he's from that era also, right? So you want to say era champions. But when you talk about Volk, guys, what steps out above and beyond anybody else is that these guys, Khabib, everybody, GSP, they knew they were the best in the world and they felt the best in the world. And they acted like it. But Volk walked the walk. Okay? Volk was fighting everybody. This guy fears no man. Ilia was the baddest dude on the planet, and he chose and made that walk against Ilia Topuria after his tough fight against Islam. He came out there and he did the goddamn do. So when we want to compare Volkanovski GOAT status versus Jose Aldo versus all these other guys, okay, yes, great stuff, but guys, Volkanovski fought a ridiculous schedule, a ridiculous amount of times, and he never said no. And he is the only guy. If Khabib was champion, I bet you with my left nut, if Khabib was champion right now, Volk would still want to step up and fight him and become the GOAT, the 2-division champion, okay? I guarantee it, guys. Who has stepped up to fight Khabib and wanted that fight and chased him? Even GSP at a higher weight class waited for the time to be right. I'm telling you guys. That's the thing about Volk. When it comes to mindset and for greatest of all time MMA fighter, it's a tough call between Volk and Khabib, man. I don't know. I'm a little bit torn, guys. Like when it's all said and done. And hey guys, don't get it twisted. Cause yeah, Ilia caught Volk, but bro, look at Ilia's face after that fight. Okay, look at Ilia's face when he won the title. My man was getting touched, and Volk was only getting stronger as the rounds go on. So he doesn't catch Volkanovski, and I think Volkanovski wins that fight. That's where a lot of people disagree with me. Mike Bisping said that he thinks Ilia Topuria wins every time. Demetrius Johnson says that he thinks Ilia Topuria wins every time. Guys, I think if he doesn't catch Volk, I think Volk wins that rematch. So, don't get it twisted, guys. Don't get it twisted. When you talk about GOAT mindset, GOAT mentality, and strength of schedule, then you got Israel, who has fought the guys that Israel's fought and as active. See, there's like different levels, you know? So it's hard, guys. It's hard, man. You got the old. I think you're gonna, when you go through who's the greatest of all time and stuff like this, I think you gotta go through belts. Like the old UFC belt, that's the GSP, Jon Jones, Anderson Silva era. You have the argument. But then after that, then you got the new belt with the rubies, you know? That belt. Then you have Volk. You got Izzy, Khabib. Boom. So that's how I think it goes for era champions, right? So when you want to talk greatest of all time, pre-belt, first belt era, GSP, Jon Jones. Comment below if you guys think I'm missing anybody, and then we'll make another video about it so I can retort, and maybe we missed some people, but I'm just shooting off the dome. It's been a long career. I'm out here training every day like I'm 26 years old, so I could be a little off on some names, but future GOATs right now, and Islam is making his run. Islam seems like he's down to fight a little bit longer than Khabib. And he's not like the dominant grappling in Khabib, but he has the level of grappling, but he loves to strike. Islam is a great striker. That might be the only reason why he actually has a loss, is because he chooses to engage so much on the feet, because he's so high level on the feet. And remember, guys, whenever you strike on the feet, it doesn't matter how good you are. It's still like, even if you're dominating, like you're talking about 60-40, 50-50, it's like a crapshoot, right? You can always get caught. So I think because Islam is so much better on the ground. Because Islam is so much better on the feet, that might be the only reason why he has one loss compared to Khabib. Even though Islam might have 2 losses in the UFC. Because I think Volk did enough to beat him in their first outing. So, exciting times, guys. It's a great time to be a UFC fan, MMA fan in general. Sports is crazy right now. I mean, we saw Jake Paul fight Mike Tyson. Wasn't too happy about that. But listen, like I said, these guys are multimillionaires, so maybe they know something I don't know, right? If I was 185 pounds, I don't think I would fight Mike Tyson, you know? Like I wouldn't want to try to knock out like a Roberto Duran or a great from back in the day. You know, like I have no desire to fight somebody. I mean, I'm old and I don't even have desire to fight guys my age, guys. Like I'm going to do these jiu-jitsu tournaments. I have some BJJ competitions coming up. And I can do Masters 2 right now, technically, because I'm 38 years old. I'm not going to do Masters 2. I'm going to do adult and maybe 30 to 35. But I'm going to do adult this year, guys. So, and that's just in jiu-jitsu, all right? So, I don't know how I feel about fighting these old guys. Like a real ones, like there's levels to this game. There's levels to champions. Jake Paul, what he's done is good because he's put a lot of money in broke MMA fighters' pockets and struggling old boxers' pockets. He's putting money in their pockets, so God bless him for that. But when it comes to mindset and caliber of champion and person and athlete, there's levels. And Jake Paul's low level when it comes to like guys like Volk and Pereira, you know? Pereira is trying to fight Jon Jones. Jake Paul is trying to fight Mike Tyson, you know? Volkanovski is trying to fight Ilia Topuria and Islam back-to-back. Jake Paul is trying to fight Nate Diaz. So, there's levels. If there's anything I would like to see less of this year, hopefully the influencer boxing dies out. You know, hopefully I think, guys, my goal this year, I'll tell you what, do some New Year's resolutions since we're just riffing right now. My goal this year is to stay true, bro. Stay loyal to the soil and stay true to myself. Try my best. This is why, guys. This is why we got to make this money. Listen, we got to make this us and you thing. Like, I only want to get money from the fans because you guys appreciate it, right? So we got to figure out a way. Maybe I want to make like a Shopify. We're going to make some gear, all right? You guys buy some gear, and all the shit that I would ever try to put on you is dope shit that I rock too, right? And it will just help the podcast and help the production of the system. Okay, we're a one-man operation right now, so that's the goal next year. Get some staff and get some automation so we can do more content. But the goal is to stay loyal to the soil, stay true to ourselves, and it's hard nowadays. In a world full of fake, in a world where you got people, imagine this, guys. This is the world we live in right now. There's people who pay money to get followers on Instagram, okay? And the followers on Instagram, so that when they post photos, and then the followers on Instagram, the more you pay, the more likes you'll get on your photos. So people are trying to put an image of themselves that they are greater than they really are to impress people that aren't even real. We're paying for likes from bots. We're paying for fake followers to get fake likes to make our fake inside selves feel better. Isn't that crazy? I mean, you got AI right now. They're saying that AI is sentient. I was watching some videos recently. There's like a whistleblower that worked for OpenAI. He said, bro, guys, like, and that guy killed. He got killed. There was a guy who worked for OpenAI. All right. He did some whistleblowing. He said that AI has been sentient and they're doing non-ethical things, like unethical practices for money and for profit. And this freaking guy gets murdered. All right. So we're living in a crazy time now, guys. All right. Anybody who speaks the truth, for whatever reason, seems to get murdered. Click, clack. They take your ass out. Right? Then we got the goddamn Luigi Mangione or whatever. We got this goddamn healthcare shooter. What the hell? Half the world's mad. This guy murdered somebody and everybody's happy about it. Whoa. But then Bill Burr had a great take on it. So it's tough, guys. It's a tough time right now to be alive, bro. Listen, we need a change. We need to uproot and stem. The system is broken, but the truth is, guys, listen, whatever that guy Luigi did and however people agree, I know what you're saying. Like, bro, these healthcare companies are criminals. These healthcare companies are criminals. The government is criminals. The IRS, the Federal Reserve, I think they're all criminals. And there needs to be something done about it. We need an answer. We need a revolution, but we need to do it through peace, man. We need to do it through peace, and we need to do it through love. The answer, don't hate the player, hate the game, Luigi. Like, I know you murdered the healthcare CEO, but it's not that guy we need to get. We need to get the system. But maybe that guy is a part of the system and it's a problem. So I'm open to the discussion, okay? I'm not mad either way. I mean, I've lost so many friends in my life. I lost a good friend, Ed, this year. To me, maybe one of the greatest humans I've ever known passed away this year. Okay, so shout out to Big Ed Arenado, and to your beautiful family, bro. This is a guy, guys, when I was in rehab, he was in the Narcotics Anonymous program. He's a sponsor. He died clean, but he died in a car accident. But he might be one of the greatest humans I've ever known. And he died in a car accident this year. So, I buried a lot of friends to addiction, motorbikes, just like, as age times. I lost my best friend to cancer 2 years ago. So I ain't got no love lost for some dead rich guy, But the answer is not murdering people on the street, guys. I don't know much. I'm not a genius, I'm pretty fucking average, but for sure, it's not good to murder people and to be like, this guy is a hero or something, I mean, that CEO guy, I don't know. It's a tough call. That guy ain't no good person. He was being, he did some money laundering and shit, but I don't know. This is a tough one, guys. I feel you. I got no love lost for the dead man, I got no love lost for the man gone, but that's not the answer. The answer is love, guys. You need to figure out a way to give that guy mushrooms, and talk to him and show him, you give that guy mushrooms, you give that guy the right dose of mushrooms, and I bet you, cause I feel like we all have a conscience inside. It's just like, it gets buried and buried and buried the longer you live and the more dirt and shit that happens and the more life you see. But I don't know, guys. The answer is definitely love, we need to figure out a way to unite. Right? Less hate, less talk about. There's too much good to talk about the bad, right? That's why I can't stand when these MMA journalists make drama, There's too much good in the world, man. There's so much good stuff about the sport. We have guys like Demetrius Johnson, Alexander Volkanovski, Khabib Nurmagomedov, Islam Makhachev. You got champions that are doing so much and helping the world so much that we need to focus on that. We need to focus on bettering our community. Like, MMA is great because it's a fucking sport that all of our kids should like. I was hitting pads with my boy the other day and with Luciano the other day at the gym in our apartment, and we're hitting pads, and these kids were watching us, and we thought these kids were gonna want to learn how to fight, but they just wanted to use the soccer field to play their game. But we need to make fighting like a thing that everybody wants to do, because that will make you a better person, and that's the goal. That's the way to make it better. So if you guys, all these journalists putting out that poison into the universe, I'm not for it. I'm about good vibrations. Hey, listen to that, guys. So we're almost out of time. My memory card's about to run out. I had some more topics I want to talk about, but in Jiu-Jitsu, Craig Jones announced that a CGI, oh my God, I got 1 minute left. CGI is back, okay, guys? So Craig Jones Invitational 2 is going to be back. We're going to have another $1 million winner. We're going to have two million winners, some super fights. So Jiu-Jitsu is blowing up. I'm competing in Jiu-Jitsu, guys. I just signed up. I just registered for a couple of super fights. And if I don't get an opponent for that, I'm going to do a competition at the end of the month. So that's another thing we're going to do, guys. I'm going to start going live on all my training sessions and all my rolling sessions. And then I'm going to start. So I'm going to give you guys more content. Just trying to give you guys more content because I feel love when we do good stuff. And the more work I put into this, the more love and appreciation I get back from you guys. And that makes my day. So more clips, more good stuff coming up, guys. Merry Christmas, all right? Marcelo Garcia is back. I had a whole rant on Marcelo Garcia that I wanted to talk about. Carlos Prates, breakout fighter of the year, all right? Carlos Prates, I love seeing people, my dog coming through, all right? This guy is straight from the favelas, from Brazil, went to Phuket, Thailand with nothing, fought Muay Thai every week, went to China, fighting in those crazy shows in China. Full Metal Dojo veteran, okay? We both started on the same MMA circuit together, all right? We might have fought on the same card together. On the China scene, KunLun veteran, so real badass, knockout artist. Is Carlos Prates the best Muay Thai fighter in the UFC? You're goddamn right. I bet the house that we have a future contender coming up, guys. So cannot wait to see Carlos do work, all right? This guy has over 100 striking fights, guys. He's literally in the matrix. This is a man that is fearless and has no fear of anything in that octagon. So cannot wait to see what's next for him. About to run out of time, guys, before our memory card goes. Peace, love. All right, guys. Happy Merry Christmas. We're going to give you another video for New Year's, another New Year's drop. I got a special coming for you. All right. Merry Christmas. Have a great Noche Buena. Don't slack on the holidays, guys. Let's keep grinding, keep making money, keep working, keep feeling good. And remember, train hard, always do your best, and let God do the rest.